I previously made a video mocking Trump for holding a grudge against Modi because they were competing for the title of King of Clowns, leading him to repeatedly humiliate Modi and India. Actually, half of it was a joke, and the other half was serious. Friends, magnets attract opposites and repel like poles. Modi and Trump are essentially the same type of people, both clowns, so it is not surprising that they dislike each other. Let me give a simple example. I have always said that Modi is a poor imitator of Mussolini, even copying his facial expressions and gestures during speeches. The way he raises his index finger while speaking reminds people of a beggar version of Mussolini. That must be a Mussolini who has lived in slums for more than 20 years to have such a unique temperament. I raise an interesting question for everyone to discuss. Why did Hitler not hate Mussolini? On the contrary, he wiped his ass multiple times, sending troops to save his clown performances in the Balkans, causing the German army to miss the best opportunity to attack the Soviet Union. Why, after Mussolini was placed under house arrest, did Hitler send elite German troops to rescue him? So who was the person Hitler hated the most? Stalin, right? Yes, essentially, Hitler and Stalin were the same type of people, both the pinnacle of human dictators: brutal, arrogant, conceited, fragile, dark, paranoid, and vain. Hitler claimed his party was the Socialist Workers' Party, while Stalin led the Soviet Communist Party that represented workers and peasants. Both were outright devils, but there is a Chinese saying, "One mountain cannot accommodate two tigers." The earth cannot tolerate two extremely powerful tyrants. They must fight to determine the winner. The war between the two would surely be a fight to the death with no possibility of compromise. But for Hitler, Mussolini was just an idol from before he rose to power, a pet he kept in a pen. He and his laughable Italy posed no threat to German hegemony. Today, India under Modi's leadership is like Italy during World War II that made the Allies laugh their heads off, specializing in providing comic relief and occasionally being used by China and Pakistan as background material. Such a country actually poses no threat to real powers like China and the US. Logically, Trump should treat Modi like Hitler treated Mussolini, keeping him as a pet and having him wear a skirt to promote India-US friendship on global stages while jointly dealing with China. But Trump did not do that. Instead, he chose to continuously strike at India and humiliate Modi in public on multiple occasions. Why? The reason is simple. Trump is not America's Hitler. In front of the US's strong constitution and the free will of its people, Trump cannot become a centralized figure like Hitler. On the contrary, he is America's Mussolini, another performance-loving clown who brings all kinds of laughs to the world. His taco show, combined with U.S. aircraft carriers crashing 2 planes in the South China Sea within half an hour and the Ford's electromagnetic catapult still not working properly to this day, has already given the U.S. a taste of World War II-era Italy. Or in other words, the number of U.S. military plane crashes is approaching India's, and the various jokes from the U.S. Navy are aligning with the Indian Navy. Some say it is because Indians rule Silicon Valley that U.S. technology is declining. But from another perspective, it is because the U.S. is becoming more and more like India, only bragging and not doing real work, which is why they love hiring Indian executives. Silicon Valley's goal is no longer to crush China and lead by far, but to choose coexistence with Chinese technology. Their tech leaders have repeatedly stated publicly that the U.S. is not leading. Jensen Huang even pointed out that U.S. AI leads China by a few nanoseconds, and that trying to crush China through blockades to maintain tech hegemony is unrealistic. But we need to know that 15 years ago, in 2010, Chinese people did not even dare to think about it, let alone challenge the U.S. in the tech field in reality. If the huge AI bubble hyped by Silicon Valley ends up basically like blockchain and the metaverse, sinking into silence, it does have meaning, but it is far from as powerful as boasted, enough to change human society. Yet the entire US is still going all in on AI, hoping to create a cliff-like tech lead through it and crush China. It was not until China simply implemented rare earth controls that the world realized who the real clown was. Modi has been in power for 11 years with the slogan of reviving the Bharat cow dung empire. But this illusory empire never existed in history. And even India in history was never truly unified. It was the British colonizers who unified India. 11 years have passed, and besides plunging India into diplomatic predicaments, being militarily humiliated by Pakistan, mocked by global media for economic data falsification, and listed by foreign investors as an investment graveyard, India has not developed any real strength. Under Trump's constant humiliations and China's rare earth controls and tech sanctions, India is vulnerable and has no power to fight back. His greatest achievement is using state capital to serve his backers like Adani and Ambani. Recently, India's state insurance fund has again heavily invested in projects under the Adani Group to help Adani cope with cash flow crises, sacrificing the rights of ordinary policyholders. Actually, Trump and Modi have no essential difference. Since he took office in 2016, he has been shouting the MAGA slogan, and now in his second term, U.S. reindustrialization remains just a slogan. Workers in the Rust Belt have not gained more job opportunities. Farmers have been affected by trade wars and posted many videos crying on TikTok. But his backer Larry Ellison profited immensely from the TikTok turmoil. Elon Musk's SpaceX is highly tied to NASA's future plans. The Trump family has made a fortune through issuing coins, insider trading stocks, and financial derivatives. His 19-year-old son Barron Trump earned tens of millions of dollars in just a few months, becoming a symbol of power money deals. Binance founder CZ mobilized massive resources to help the Trump family promote and develop cryptocurrency businesses and even received a pardon from Trump, with past illegal convictions revoked. The biggest commonality between Trump and Modi is constantly bragging about their country's strength in various settings and showing toughness. But Trump, as the king of clowns, obviously cannot tolerate another version of himself on Earth. Moreover, Modi actually denied his mediation of the India-Pakistan conflict, causing him to miss the Nobel Peace Prize. So he imposed 50% tariffs on India, repeatedly confirmed that India had 7 fighter jets shot down by Pakistan, and constantly humiliated India on various occasions. He may not realize it himself, but his relationship with Modi is very much like Hitler and Stalin, hard to coexist. Honestly, I fully understand why Modi and his clown colleagues insist on refuting Trump's claim of mediating the India-Pakistan conflict. Does that make Indians believe India won the New Dole operation? I advise Modi to recognize his strength and position soon, publicly apologize to Trump, fly to Washington to kiss his ass, and end this farce. Seriously, the U.S. is the world's #1 power, and Trump has the capital to mess around. India is a country with no presence, and Modi should not feud with Trump over the King of Clowns title and drag India down. I hope he thinks this through clearly. Jai Hind.